Hello, welcome you guys. Today we are going to explain the another type of special DC motor, and that is known as brushless DC, that is in short BLDC motor drive. So as usual, I always used to say before developing any controlling system, first of all try to understand for what purpose you have to develop it, right? So here first of all we will see what is that BLDC motor or what is its requirement. Then and then you can design and develop its control system properly. Is it? So first of all we will just compare it with the conventional which you studied in detail during the my previous lecture. So that conventional DC motor, in short, again I will go on to explain over here, consists of basically two windings. One is armature winding and another one is the field winding. Okay, so field winding, it is wounded inside the yoke of that DC motor which is stationary, and another winding, it is wounded on the rotor which is known as the armature winding, and both windings are to be uh, powered externally. Is it? So there is need of powering of both winding in case of that conventional DC motor, or it is also known as a separately excited DC motor, right? Another type of DC motor is also we discussed in previous lecture, that is permanent magnet type. In that motor, or how that permanent magnet DC motor differs from this conventional one or this separately excited DC. In case of that permanent magnet, there is no field winding. Inside the yoke there are permanent magnets stick inside that yoke. Is it? And only one, that is armature winding, is there wounded on the rotor, and through brushes and commutators the external field is applied to that armature winding, right? Whenever we are applying that external field to that armature winding, and that magnetic electromagnetic flux gets generated, and that rotor rotates. That means the electrical energy gets converted into mechanical energy in case of that permanent magnet. Or in case of conventional DC, that is we can say separately excited DC, there is need of separate two DC sources. One is to excite that field winding and another one is required for the excitation of armature winding. So within these two, that is separately excited as well as permanent magnet, there is a need of brushes to connect that rotating armature winding with the external source. So that brushes and commutator is the requirement of that separately excited and permanent magnet DC motor. That's why there is a chance of wear and tear in most of the cases, that brushes gets damaged after a long use of that DC motors. So to avoid that wear and tear, another kind of special purpose DC motor is there, and that is known as brushless DC motor. So see here, you can easily identify what is mean by this BL, that is brushless, means there is no brushes. See, in case of conventional, that brushes are shown over here, but in case of this BLDC, no need of brushes. So how it will going on to work, or how it will provide that motoring action, that we have to discuss today in detail. So the basic difference between this BLDC and conventional DC is that in case of BLDC, there is only one winding, and that is known as a field winding, which is stationary inside the yoke of that motor, or we can say it is a stator winding which is stationary, while rotor, it is a type of permanent magnet, correct? So no need of brushes and commutators, as the stator winding is fixed one, correct? So construction of that BLDC in short again. So see, in this figure you can easily find out there are so many teeth at the periphery of that yoke, inside that yoke, and internally there is a rotating shaft, this one, which is a permanent magnet. Here it is highlighted, it is a permanent magnet type of rotor, and this one is the stator winding which is wounded around these teeth, correct? So it mainly consists of two parts. Which are those parts? That parts are stator and rotor. See, these are the main parts of this type of motor, that is stator and rotor, where that stator is, it is a it acts as electromagnet whenever we are providing external DC supply to it, and rotor, it is a also known as one kind of permanent magnet. Okay, so in detail, that stator, it is made up of a silicon steel slots as shown here. These are the silicon steel stampings, and slots are provided for the winding purpose around it. So slots are accommodated by that stator winding. The stationary winding, it is connected to DC supply through a power electronics switching circuitry, and that is a inverter circuit. See this one, I highlighted purposely here. This is a what is the requirement to operate this motor? That is a inverter circuit. Now you might have a question, if we are calling it as a brushless and DC motor, so why there is a need of inverter circuit? Inverter means what? Basically what we discussed in previous lectures, during the working and operation of that inverter, its input is DC while its output is AC, right? So if it is inverter circuit, that means the motor is a AC motor? No, it is not a AC motor. What is the purpose of that inverter circuit, or what is how that inverter circuit basically works with this BLDC, that we will going on to discuss. Okay, so rotor now. That rotor, already I told, it is a permanent magnet type. Number of poles on the rotor, it is same as that of on the stator. This is also important. The number of poles included on that rotor, it should be same as that of number of poles of that slots provided on the stator. Rotor shaft, it carries a rotor position sensor. This is one of the major difference between that conventional one and this BLDC. Here it is the actual need of this BLDC motor for its operation. So this rotor shaft, it carries a rotor position sensor. For example, you might have studied this Hall sensor, which provides the information about the position of that shaft at any instant to the controller to produce that controlling signals, or we can say that pulses, which winding is to be excited first, right? So there is a need of this Hall sensor to find out the position of that rotor at any instant. So accordingly, that controller decides which coil is to get energized first, and thus the switching sequence of power devices in the inverter circuitry. So see, already I told that stator, it is stationary inside the yoke of that motor. You will observe total 6 teeth are there for this stator, and around that teeth, that is slots provided to it, there is a winding, correct? So here 3 phases are considered as phase A, B and C. So the winding is given to that phase A as A and A dash, front to front. So these 2 teeth, it will get excited at a time, right? Similarly B and B dash, these 2, and third one is C and C dash. Okay, so see how it operates. So it is based on simple force interaction between permanent magnet, that is rotor, and the electromagnet, that is stator, whenever we are applying the DC voltage to that stator winding. So when the coil A is energized, the opposite poles of that rotor and stator are get attracted to each other. That green arrows are shown over here, how that poles gets attracted towards each other whenever that coil is energized, that is stator coil is energized. Okay, so as a result, the rotor poles move near to the energized stator. Now in next sequence here, I tried to show what is the requirement as the rotor gets closer to coil A. Now there is requirement to energize the coil B. Immediately that coil B should get energized. Okay, and now as that rotor gets shifts nearer to coil B, then coil C, it should get energized likewise, so that there will be a movement of that rotor inside that stator winding as shown. After that, coil A, it is to be energized with the opposite polarity. This is the main requirement of this motor. What is that? See here, I will try to highlight what is the requirement whenever that one cycle gets complete, that is phase A, then B and then C. then that coil, it should get energized with the opposite polarity. That means what? See, this one, it is titled as A and A dash. So whenever, in first case, whenever we are putting positive DC with respect to its opposite terminal as negative, now that coil A, it is to be energized like this, positive over here and negative towards the opposite side. Means second case, it will be like this. In previous case, it was positive DC was applied over here, right, and later on with respect to what, its opposite terminal, that is this terminal was negative. Now whenever all that phases sequence gets complete, then its polarity should get reverse as shown, means positive over here and negative towards its opposite side. So this process, it gets repeated and the rotor continues to rotate. So see here, that rotor is also shown, or it gets rotated whenever we are energizing one by one that coils, for phase A, then B, and for phase C. So initially that phase A, it is energized, shown over here, then phase B, immediately over here. See again, if we try to find out its phase difference, then it will be almost 0 degree. Whenever phase A will get energized, immediately phase B should get energized, and later on immediately again phase C, like this. And after that phase C, what is the need? That coil, it should get energized with opposite polarity, means you will observe after that phase C, here phase A, its polarity is reverse. Similarly, next pulse is arriving for phase B, which is also with negative polarity, and then again phase C with negative polarity. Then and then that once complete cycle, rotor, it completes, get rotated by 360 degree whenever these two pulses are applied sequentially to it. Okay, so this is the main difference between that conventional DC motor and this one, that is BLDC. Okay, now the block diagram. From its working, we can easily understand what is the requirement of that BLDC motor. This one here, the shown BLDC motor is 3-phase. That's why the input DC source shown, it is of DC source. See this one, it is a DC source which is used as an input to the 3-phase inverter. Now inverter circuitry we already discussed in previous chapter, that is DC to AC converters. Also over here in short we will discuss on that. There is a need of somewhat PWM generator circuitry. See this one, this is nothing but, here it is highlighted as logic circuits, or we can use a microcontroller to generate the PWMs, and through the driver circuitry, that generated PWM signals, it should get applied to the switches according to the requirement of that previous sequence which we discussed, is it? And as there is a need of, already I told, a Hall sensor which is mounted on the rotor to identify exactly where is the position of that rotor, so that the controller will be able to decide out of that 3 coils or phases A, B, and C, which should get energized first, correct? So there is a feedback between that Hall sensor and the controller. It is used to identify the position of sensor, and accordingly that controller decides which PWM it should get logic high initially, and later on to continue that sequence, right? So here in this diagram I tried to show the actual circuitry or driver circuitry required to that BLDC motor, which is again 3-phase. So simply you will observe total 6 switches are there, MOSFETs are used, and that MOSFETs are commonly powered by somewhat DC voltage, plus and minus is shown, means across this bridge, plus DC minus DC, it is connected across it. So same as that of that previous sequence which we discussed. Suppose that transistor Q turn on by generating its respective PWM, then what will happen, that plus VDC, it will get applied. See here in this equivalent diagram, you will observe it will get applied to phase A. With that coil A, it will get energized, is it? whenever the transistor Q1 will get turned on, it will be going to connect that plus VDC to phase A, like this. Later on, what do we discuss? Whenever there will be shifting of that rotor from phase A to B, coil B, it should get energized immediately, is it? So what we will do now, turn on the next switch, this transistor, and immediately which coil will get energized, you will observe coil B, which is connected over here. See this one, through switch Q3 to plus DC VDC, coil B will get energized, and similarly whenever that Q5 will get turned on, the third coil, that is coil C, it will get energized with the polarity plus at the input and minus towards the outgoing, right? Now what is the requirement we just discussed in previous slide? To continue that rotation, there is need of opposite side DC voltage across the coil, means polarity across that coil, it should get reverse. So see, simply whenever that transistor, last transistor, that is Q5, will get fired and coil C will get energized with the polarity like this, plus and minus for all cases. In first case, all the coils are energized by PWM through the MOSFETs with the polarity like this. Later on, turn on this transistor, which one is shown as Q0, correct now? So turn on this transistor, it is, yes, Q0. So turn on this transistor so that the voltage applied to the coil, it will be like this, means minus VDC through transistor Q0, it will get applied to the coil A, means we can say coil A will get energized with the opposite polarity, and hence it will, or that rotor, it will remain continuously in rotation. Similarly, now coil B, it should get energized through a next transistor, that is Q2, as shown over here, with reverse polarity like this, and by last transistor now Q4, the third coil, that is phase C, it will get energized like this, correct? So basically, what is the need of that BLDC over here? Proper PWM sequence, it should get generated. How to maintain that sequence or that pattern properly, the PWM should be, or it should get generated sequentially, right now, and it is shown as a somewhat IGBT driver circuitry. So you are well familiar why there is need of this driver circuitry between controller and the switches to remove the overloading conditions of the controller. There is need of that driver circuitry, this one. Without driver circuitry, that controller circuit may get operate on overloading condition by these switches, or there might be a need of somewhat more voltage level to act that switches or that transistors as a switch, because the output of controller mostly it is of only plus 5 volt, and if the requirement of that switch is, for example, like 6 volt, then there should be somewhat amplification, as well as if that there is a input current consumption by that switch which is greater than the sourcing current capacity of this controller, there is a need of this driver circuitry, right? And for the controller, the output ports, that pins are assigned as a PWM pins, right? So by proper programming, we can generate the sequence for that PWM so that the switches will get one by one turn on, and we can operate that BLDC motor. While by these Hall sensors, we can easily identify, that controller can easily identify where is the position of that rotor at any instant, and accordingly which PWM it should get logic high initially, correct? So this is the simple driver circuit I tried to show. Now I taken one example of that, one of the BLDC motor. Its specification I found from the internet, Google, and so many things are given over there. These are the specification of that particular BLDC motor, its rated voltage requirement is 24 volt, it is mentioned. Then I will only going on to consider the specifications, electrical specifications, which are important to design the driver circuitry for that particular VLDC. So at this stage I will not going on to consider how much torque that motor is producing. Then this rated velocity is also important for us. Then this one, that is rated current, then power, correct? Then number of poles also, that means whatever number of poles are there, accordingly we have to generate the PWMs, because for each pole there is requirement of separate PWM. Okay, so these are the most important specifications by considering which we can design that driver circuitry. So see, why I said these specifications are somewhat important, because 24 volt whatever motor I selected over here, its requirement is of what? Its rated voltage is 24, means whenever I will going on to close any switch, for example, like see, whenever I will going on to close, for example, like transistor Q1, the DC voltage it should get applied to the phase A, and how much it should be? It should be of 24 volt, that is the meaning, is it? So the used DC voltage over here, it should be of 24, correct? Then next one is rated velocity, that we will discuss later on. Rated current, that is 5 ampere, that current rating is mentioned as a 5 ampere. So why it is important for our driver circuitry? Because whatever again switch we are using, for example, again that transistor Q1, and whenever it will get energized, coil A, how much will be the current consumption of that coil? That current consumption, it will be of 5 ampere, that is the meaning. This one, 5 ampere is the current consumption, means our switch it should be capable, that transistor which is used in that driver circuitry as a switch, all these transistor, each transistor have to pass minimum of 5 ampere current, that is the rating of that motor. Means accordingly you have to select these power devices. That's why I have taken all these specifications over here for the discussion. Then rated power, that rated power is 82 watt, means the motor will going to consume the total DC power of 82 watts. And already I told the number of pole pairs, it is of 2, that means minimum 2 PWM we will require while selecting the controller to generate the PWMs, is it? Now the last one, that rated velocity, purposely I kept this specification at the end. Rated velocity is why important? Because this specification it indicates what? It will be going to indicate the maximum speed of that DC motor per minute, that is 3950 RPM, revolutions per minute, correct? And during the operation of the DC motor, what we seen, whenever that pulses one cycle gets applied, then there is a rotation of that rotor by 360 degree, correct? Now means the frequency of that pulses which are used to energize coil A, B and C, it will going on to decide at what speed that motor will rotate, correct? Now so while designing that PWM by the controller, we have to consider this rated velocity, or at what speed we have to operate that motor. Accordingly we have to set the frequency of that firing pulses, we can say, or triggering pulses for the thyristors or that MOSFETs. The frequency it should be according to the speed requirement, and maximum speed acquired by using this motor, it is of 3950 RPM. Beyond that we can't set the frequency of that PWM, correct? Because this motor as per specification will going on to run with the maximum speed of this one given value, is it? So all these are nothing but the design considerations and requirements of that driver circuitry used in BLDC motors. Now the advantages, already I told, in case of conventional DC motors there are brushes and commutators, that's why there is a chance of wear and tear. So in this case there is no brushes and no commutator, so no wear and tear will going to occur, no sparks and no extra frictions between that brushes and the commutator, mostly in case of that conventional DC motor occurs during the connection and disconnection, as well as there is no friction as in case of again that conventional DC motor. There is a friction between brush and commutator. So this motor is more efficient than the conventional, higher speed can be acquired, then higher power density than the conventional DC motor. But there are some disadvantages also. What is the first disadvantage? That is nothing but the need of additional sensor. Already I told, to find out the actual position of that rotor, there is a need of Hall sensor. Then and then that controller can decide which PWM or which transistor or which switch should get closed first, right? So there is a need of additional sensor to sense the position of sensor, and that is Hall sensor mostly used. Then somewhat the driver circuitry is somewhat complex. Then already we seen it requires total 6 power transistors with the rated with the ratings as per the motor ratings given or the selected motor, and that's why its cost is also somewhat more as compared to our conventional one, right? So thank you.